Welcome to Cut the COVID Crap Part 43. Sudden adult death syndrome, more in vaccinated or in unvaccinated. T-shirt of the week. This is actually my oldest one. Hopefully it's never going to be relevant anymore. So, sudden adult death syndrome. Some people may have heard of it already, some people not. Sudden infant death syndrome is something that is more commonly known, I think. Um, Babies up to 1 year old that suddenly die, and it's unexpected reason, or like they don't know why. Um, happens in a very small percentage of the population. And in the last few weeks, there's this thing called SADS, so an adult death syndrome. Um, a in It's been reported in the US, in the UK, in Australia, that adults, the significant proportion of no, I shouldn't say a significant proportion of adults, um, adults dying without any reason, fit adults without any reason, doesn't happen often, and now it happens more, significantly more. That doesn't mean that it's a significant portion of the total population, but it's a significant increase. Um, and But as usual, so you start to find this in the mainstream already. But as usual, no link to vaccination is made. Um, and I'm not saying there is, but what you would expect is that say there of the adults dying with SADS, um, if a high percentage of them would be unvaccinated, I think you'd hear it all over the place, right? I mean, all the main governments are doing their best um, to give any reason to to get vaccinated. So if it would be more amongst the unvaccinated, I think you'd hear it, but you hear nothing about it in terms of vaccination status. And it's not thousands of people per month per country or something. So it's not that it's too hard to gather that information. But it made me think about the previous occasions, right? I mean, in especially in Australia, like in the beginning, when there were the first few COVID deaths were there, they would report both the age and the vaccination status, showing that the a relatively high proportion was unvaccinated, so there was a reason to encourage it. And at some point, when the boosters came, they would say like this person died but was not boosted. And now, at some point, they stopped publishing the vaccination status for privacy reasons. Um, well, is it for privacy reasons, or was it an inconvenient truth? And uh, I'll I'll refer to the National Health Security Agency data that I used to discuss in the beginning of my video. You can see it in the previous videos. If you link, so you click on TB, TIBE, and then you see all my previous videos. In the previous videos, I discussed the vaccination status of the new infections, the hospitalizations, and the deaths in the UK. And they reported that up until the end of March. So if you look at, for example, by in the middle of February, the COVID deaths, 13% of them were in the unvaccinated. By the end of March, it was under 10% were in the unvaccinated group. Hospitalizations, um, hospitalizations, middle of February, around about 17%. By the end of March, it was under 12%. So the unvaccinated group, the percentages for unvaccinated badly affected rapidly in a month and a half. It rapidly went down. Also, the number of cases. Middle of February, new infections above 10% in the unvaccinated, and by end of March it was under 7% in the unvaccinated. So, in rapid pace, the unvaccinated group, yeah, was less affected. I'm not saying vaccinations don't work, but it was just, at least it was harder to sell that the unvaccinated was the problem. Um, So yeah, and then by the end of March they stopped publishing those details. So yeah, again, inconvenient truth apparently. So with the sets, it's not absolute big numbers, but it's strange stuff that is happening, and it's like with all the bias that the governments have shown. Yeah, if they don't show any data, yeah, that's a reason for me to be suspicious at least. And yeah, that brings me to my second topic of today. Imagine yourself measles before COVID. Let's say you have a kid and you talk to your doctor. My daughter has recently recovered from measles. Didn't have a vaccination, got measles, and has recovered. Imagine your doctor would have said, "Oh yeah, but you should still get a measles vaccination." What would you say then? Basically, doctor, my daughter has recovered from measles, didn't have a vaccination, had recovered, her immune system dealt with it, she's okay now, and she should be okay for a very long time, unless there's some kind of mutation. And then your doctor says, yeah, yeah, but still, you should get vaccinated. 4 times. I mean, and then you ask the doctor, what's the track record of that vaccination? Does it prevent getting measles? In the people that have not contracted measles yet? No, it doesn't really. It doesn't really. No, you can. Most people still get it. Why should you take it then? Because it's still a fair chance that they'll get it, but it'll stop. It'll reduce the chance of hospitalizations and deaths. So, doctor, my daughter has recovered already, has got uh, her immune system dealt with it, and now you're saying that I should get an ineffective vaccination, which miraculously helps against hospitalization and deaths. I think I'll find myself a different doctor. you know, this is the kind of stuff that we're supposed to believe. Imagine before COVID what you would believe, and imagine what you would believe now. Um, I think we're pushed in a particular direction, so to speak. But yeah, it's up to yourself to decide what you when you think enough is enough, right? I mean, for me, it's like if there's blatant lies being told by people in authority, that for me is enough reason to say like, whoa, I need to do my own research. I need to take everything with a grain of salt and look at from both the left and the right what people have to say about it. For some people, it's okay, but think for yourself when is enough for you. If in the next 2 months they would say like, oh, because of monkeypox, you need to get your next vaccination, even though monkeypox is only it doesn't spread through air, it's just through close skin contact. But yeah, what do you believe? Um, do you continue to believe that story? I mean, and if at some point you cannot travel anymore, take the recent news from China. Um, uh, they banned people traveling to a certain province um, because of supposedly close contact with COVID. Um, but in effect, a group was apparently banned from traveling there because there was a run on the bank. So that's the vaccination status was used to limit people traveling for completely different reasons. Um, if that would happen in your where you live, would you accept that, or would you just take that as well? I mean, yeah, think for yourself what your own limit is. For some people, it's blatant lies. For other people, it's like, if my freedoms are like if the same story is told over and over again, then they start to question it. For some people, if it's if too much freedom is taken away, yeah, and for some people, even if they have if there's a digital currency and they're confined to their home unless they comply with whatever they're supposed to comply with, maybe the fine for them. But I think it's good. I mean, it's easy to fall for the trap of the stepping stone. Like a little bit more is not too bad. A little bit more is not too bad. Um, Vaccination passports in the Western world was unheard of. Like it would be totally unaccepted pre-COVID, and a year into COVID, um, it's fine. It's like there were some people protesting, but the majority was like, it's fine. The French president saying that he'll make life hard for unvaccinated. Yeah, and he's re-elected. Yeah, it's uh, Mattias Desmet. No, maybe I'll post a link below. Mattias Desmet has got an interview on Epoch TV, which I've been watching, was published yesterday. Also interesting. Anyway, really decide for yourself when it will be enough for you. Um, when that hurdle is reached, then you should stick to your plan and say like, okay, this is what I'm not gonna tolerate anymore. Anyway, decide for yourself and good luck with your decision making. See you next week.